actually, I'm going to read Ben Norton's response to the. Oh, maybe I'm not. Never mind. I don't actually have that here. But anyway, I will tell you that I got that Ben Norton pointed this out. Great journalist, by the way. Look up Benjamin Norton if you want to see some great journalism. Also, he has an outlet called Multipolarista that does great work. Anyway, he pointed out that the New York Times, well, Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, has basically publicly said now that the U.S. is beginning a new Cold War with China. Here is the article that Ben Norton references. And they don't use the terms Cold War because that would be a no-no, right? So they just tell you, how do you say you're creating a new Cold War without saying you're creating a new Cold War? Well, this is how you do it. U.S. aims to constrain China by shaping its environment, Blinken says. U.S. Secretary of State gave a glimpse of President Biden's classified strategy on China, which officials have concluded they cannot change Beijing's behavior, but they're going to encircle them, basically, change their environment. That is what a Cold War looks like. It looks like encircling a country, trying to cut them off economically, and economic war kills. So when I say a new Cold War, I don't mean a deathless Cold War. I don't mean a murderless Cold War. A Cold War kills. Economic war kills. People die. People are dying right now, but from the U.S. economic war on Venezuela, on Iran, on Syria. People are dying because of our economic war. So here's from that New York Times article, and I'm going to break down some of the language here to show you what's propaganda, but really what this really means. Secretary of State, I'll show you the article. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Thursday that despite Russia's invasion of Ukraine, China remains the greatest challenger to the United States and its allies, and that the Biden administration aims to shape the strategic environment around the Asian superpower to limit its increasingly aggressive actions. How great is the idea of the U.S. calling China aggressive? How fucking incredible is that? The U.S. saying China has aggressive actions. Literally, the United States has 800 to 900 military bases around the world. We encircle the world with military bases, military weaponry, weapons that could blow up whole cities. We encircle the globe with that, and then we point to China and go, we're sick of your aggression. We really are. Not only that, we drop bombs every day. Every day we're dropping bombs on innocent civilians around the globe in 7 different countries. I only have one hand, so I can't show the number 7. Let's see. Here you go. In 7 different countries, we are dropping bombs at various times. It might be 8 with Somalia. I don't know if that counts as 8. But we under Obama, the numbers are that his final year, he and his Pentagon, of course, is the military-industrial complex. So it's not Obama dropping these bombs a lot of the time because our Pentagon is a runaway train that doesn't actually answer to anyone. So yes, our military is doing it on their own as well. But we'll say the Obama Pentagon dropped 26,000 bombs in its final year of the Obama administration. 26,000 in a year. That's a bomb every 20 minutes or something? Under Donald Trump, in his first year, they dropped 40,000 bombs. 40,000 in a year. If my brain device serves correctly, if my memory serves me, I believe that's 1 every 12 minutes. A bomb is being dropped. These are old numbers by a few years, but they're not that far off. Things haven't changed that much. So a bomb is being dropped by the U.S. military every 12 minutes. And meanwhile, we're calling China aggressive. We're sitting here going, China needs to stop the aggression. They just need to stop it. China How many bombs are they dropping on other countries? Big old zero. Big old zero coming from the China bombs. Okay? And yet, we want them to stop being aggressive. And the New York Times wrote that. Blinken said it. New York Times repeated it as if it's a fact. Because the New York Times is propaganda dumpster fire. So, there you go. China is the only country, this is a quote from Anthony Blinken, Secretary of State. China is the only country with both the intent to reshape the international order and increasingly the economic, diplomatic, military, and technological power to do it. To reshape the international order. And by what does Anthony Blinken mean by that? He means to decrease American hegemony. That's what he means when he says reshape the international order. He means decrease America's control on the entire globe. China is the only one big enough to do it. That's what he's saying. We're in a waning empire, and we're acting out against those that are the other large and powerful countries because they're our greatest challengers to hegemony. And here's Anthony Blinken saying they should stop being aggressive. They really got to honestly, this is like if you were actively punching the shit out of someone and yelling at them to stop being aggressive. I just figured out American foreign policy is like American police. We're beating the shit out of people saying stop resisting. We're beating the shit out of people saying stop being aggressive. So our foreign policy is the same as our police policy. Okay, that makes some sense. Mr. Blinken continued, Beijing's vision would move us away from the universal values. From the universal values that have sustained so much of the world's progress over the past 75 years. The universal values. Yes, the universal values of the United States, such as what? Torture, endless surveillance, no due process, complete propagandizing of the people, endless materialism, complete destruction of the social fabric of our country. Yeah, we're gonna, China's threatening those universal values that the United States has put forward, such as killing the planet, such as the environmental collapse that the United States has led. And by the way, I know China's they're no vegan plant oil-based bicycle, but China at least has made some efforts to creating somewhat of a cleaner economy, and per capita, actually per human being, they emit far less carbon gas, greenhouse gases than the United States does. But anyway, these are the ideals put forward by the American empire, and we're worried China's going to upset them, going to get in the way of those universal values that have been put forward over the past 75 years. Holy shit. The speech was the first public overview of President Biden's approach to China and is based on a much longer classified strategy that was largely completed last fall. U.S. officials say that decades of direct economic and diplomatic engagement to compel the Chinese Communist Party to abide by American-led rules has largely failed. Oh, yeah, basically they're saying that bending China to our will has failed, and therefore we're starting a Cold War with them. That's what they're saying. Read between the lies. Read between the lies. Read between the lies. And you see that that's what they're saying. We're starting a new Cold War with China because we have tried to bend them to our will to continue our American empire, and it has not worked. There you go. That's all you need. If the New York Times had said that sentence, that's all you need from what Anthony Blinken said. New Cold War, and people die, and you often get closer to nuclear war, to a hot war if you create Cold War. And what we need right now is full cooperation to deal with climate change, and instead we get this garbage. we get this sociopathic pro-war garbage. And basically, it's another layer of reality to get beyond the layers that the New York Times would ever give you. Is this partially has to do with the fact that the Trans-Pacific Partnership failed. And the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the trade deal that was meant to encircle China in trade that would not include them, so cut them out of their trade partner, their natural trade partners in Asia. Many of us activists were very opposed to the Trans-Pacific Partnership because it ceded national government power to corporations and to a tiny tribunal of corporate judges, and among other things. That is one of the biggest things. But among other things, it was a horrible trade deal. It would have destroyed human lives, and in many ways. So we fought hard against it, and ultimately we pressured Trump, who, for his own reasons, he did it for his own ego and for other reasons. Oh, and because Obama was the one that negotiated the TPP. So Trump pulled out of it. So really, activists defeated the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the largest trade deal that had ever existed, that would have encompassed 40% of the world's economies, 40% of the world's economic power. And so the United States has not had the TPP in order to encircle China. They haven't had that tool to try and crush China. And so now they're moving to other aspects. Folks, that is the live stream for today. But please click subscribe. I beg of you, click subscribe. Rumble.com/LeeCamp. They don't censor me. I am the most censored comedian in America. And, without you guys, I wouldn't be able to keep doing this. I wouldn't be able to keep doing this work. It comes down to you. And so if you feel like you've got $1 worth of content out of this live stream, just $1, go over and join at LeeCamp.net. It'll forward you to my Locals webpage. Locals is a cool page. I know you're like, I don't want to do some new social media, but it's like Patreon, except they don't censor me and they don't have an algorithm, and they and it's cooler than Patreon because you can post there, you can email me, you can comment, you can answer polls like that one I just showed you, and that's all at LeeCamp.net.